Yeah, welcome everybody to this little digression of our main CFP video. You're at the perfectly right space if you haven't watched the other video yet, because this is the one you should start with. We did a little bit of a marketing analysis and we created a strategy paper where we had a look on different aspects of the market, about DeFiChain and everything that goes along with that. So let's have a look what we're going to talk about in this little video. We talk a little bit about like the macro environments. We talk about the micro environments, about the strategy, and in the end, like what will be the implementation of our marketing measures. And yeah, looking at the macro environment, I think what you can see is that the market itself is growing quickly. So if you see just between 2020 and 2021, the whole adoption rate was increased by 2,300%. And if you look at the picture on the right side, you can actually see that besides the countries that are mainly noticeable in media when it's about crypto, you can actually see countries that are, yeah, supposedly really big in terms of the adoption rate, like for example, India, Ukraine, or Pakistan, which have like a huge user base of crypto. And this also shows when we look at the specific data in emerging markets. So India is, according to this data, the biggest crypto user with 100 million crypto users within their country. And then there are other big users. If you look at it, Russia is a big one. You have Ukraine, Pakistan, as mentioned. And if you look at the right side, when it comes to the adoption rate, actually countries like Ukraine and Russia are leading the pack when it comes to crypto. So you can clearly see that crypto is, in countries you normally don't hear that much about, very, very popular. So something that you have to keep in mind when you think of like expanding the product of DeFiChain for the future. I think a very important conclusion. But there is also another trend that everybody have heard of, and this trend is the metaverse and the whole NFTs thing. I think for people that are not aware of what the metaverse is, it's like also considered to be Web 3.0. And it's basically expanding the traditional Web 2.0 by the component own. So normally Web 2.0 was called like it's read and write. So what you've started to learn with Facebook and in other social media platforms is now expanded to the own component, because you can actually own parts of the game or the world where you're in. And this is also possible with NFTs, and this gives it additionally like an interoperable functionality to it. So your NFTs are not limited anymore to certain games like they were in the past. So this whole collecting thing has always been has been a thing for a long time already in the gaming industry, but now it's like interoperable. So you can basically earn something somewhere and then you can use it somewhere else. So it gives it a huge value component to it, and also a very addicting component to this whole environment. And yeah, it's obviously considered that there's a massive growth happening. So by like a whopping 220% until 2025, which is not that far away anymore. So we're speaking about $400 billion market, which is a huge deal. And if you look at other also DeFi projects, there are DeFi projects that try to gamify the whole experience, like DeFi Kingdom. Or there are other projects that are like implementing the finance components into the game. So they have like NPCs that do the staking for you and stuff. So there are like opportunities around that could also be something valuable for DeFiChain. If we look at the micro analysis, we looked at what should we actually define as the market and how do we segment the market. So first of all, we were thinking about like how could the market look like, and if you want to know all the details, I highly recommend you to read through the document. It's like 25 to 30 pages, and there is a lot of valuable content and information in there. So take a look. So saying that, the conclusion we made was that we define the market as like the worldwide market for financial instruments with increased risks. The risk component we see as very crucial because we assume that it's not so easy to break through this barrier within the next period of time. So there will always be a consideration regarding the risk, and also in terms of the target groups, because it's very unlikely that we will get the grandmas and grandpas excited about crypto, because in their world it's risky, it's scammy, it's unserious. And therefore, if we look at the right side of this slide, you see the market segmentation we did. So we found three different categories where we tried to separate the market into, and one is risk affinity, and the other one is investment capital. And if you look at the different target groups we see here, you see a clear difference between, first of all, like the capital that people have, and also the risk they are willing to take in terms of investment. And besides that, we also looked at the regional aspect. So clearly for us, the main target region is our English-speaking markets and the whole European and the Asia-Pacific market. Asia-Pacific, not completely, obviously. China is a difficult market when it comes to crypto, but Singapore, South Korea, and Japan, these countries, they have like huge crypto fan bases and also huge investment capital available, and will offer us like huge opportunities. And in the second step, like South America, Russia, Middle East is something we should have a look at. And maybe in the third step, then Africa and the rest of the world. I think even though the market there is huge, it will take time for adaptation and the real like to make big movements. I think we all agree that the big movements will come from other countries like North America and Europe and parts of Asia when it comes to the development of DeFiChain. So if we look closer on this market segmentation, we also need to consider like this whole investment cycle. So I'm sure some guys have seen this graph from Roger Everett that showcases like this, I think he calls it diffusion of innovation, where you can see how people in each stage behave in terms of like adopting a new product. And if you look at the adoption rate of crypto, which is currently at around 10%, you see that on this graph, we are basically like right in the middle of the early adopters. And the early adopters are, when it comes to finance, also more likely to invest in something high risk. And that's why we, in the end, decided to go with these three target groups as the target groups we mainly are aiming for. And these are the Wall Street wannabe, the investment enthusiast, and the big time investor. So keep that in mind for later on. These are the target groups we see as the first to attack. And we also did a little bit of an analysis regarding DeFiChain. What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? And in general, what are the main challenges of the project? We think like DeFiChain, first of all, offers a wide range of financial services. It has a clear roadmap, very transparent what's going on, even if like things are not working out. It's a very healthy project. We have a great foundation. We have a healthy community fund. And it's also with the services we offer, it's easy to expand these services and gain more traction in the market. Specifically, the decentralized assets are offered this opportunity. And yeah, of course, the rewards are quite high at the moment, but this is something that will slowly fade away, obviously, over time. So it's not something you should stick to forever as your positioning statement, but it's something we obviously can keep in mind for the moment. When it comes to weaknesses, yeah, marketing is a topic. I think everybody is aware of that. And everything that goes with marketing. So one topic is positioning. I think at the moment, the problem is that the project is jumping from one feature to another. So it was liquidity mining first. Now it's, since it's the assets and maybe it's futures in the future, actually. So I think what needs to be done is to see like, okay, what is the clear positioning of the product itself? Is it like, what is it around? Is it around security? Is it around ease of use? Is it around like the services we offer? I think this is something that needs to be tackled. it's very focused on regions. I think people are aware of that. It's a big community in Germany and yeah, in certain regions of Asia. It's very small still in the US and in Canada. So they are like, yeah, there are main regions and focus regions at the moment, which can be considered as a weakness. So it's not that I won't say decentralized because this not necessarily has something to do with regions, but yeah, it is one of the weaker aspects of the project. And yeah, one thing is, especially when it comes to marketing, the D assets and the arbitrage problems we were having with them. So selling the stock component of the product is a bit tricky at the moment because people might get a bit shocked by the pricing that they have at the moment. So this is something that needs to be tackled, sure. So what are the main challenges? I think the brand awareness is a big challenge, the lack of brand awareness. And yeah, the whole marketing approach seems to be a bit minimalistic, something we try to tackle. So yeah, watch the other video after that, and then you will see what we have lined up for that. The positioning strategy, as mentioned, is a bit weak and not really clear at the moment. There could also be more partners that could help us along the road. And yeah, the regional focus of the project is something that that can be yeah, that should be looked at. It's also something marketing related, obviously, and something that can be fixed. So none of the challenges are like really concerning. So yeah, I think this sums it up. If you look at the competitors, we obviously had more competitors than that. I just picked out ones that I think suit the most for this comparison. So these are Mirror Protocol, Synthetics, and Stacks, and they are all great products. I think they have great foundation, great development teams. There is nothing really where you can say like these projects like suck. But I think they have their pros and cons. Like Mirror Protocol, like they offer good average rewards. The platform is good. They have a lot of assets. But on the other side, their reward token, for example, MIR, is basically has no value. So people basically cash that out or switch that into another token immediately. So this is a problem, and this minimizes like really the reward thing since the token itself doesn't have any value. Yeah, and if you look at Synthetics, yeah, it offers great interoperability. It's also listed on major exchanges. I think this applies to all of them, but it's a pro, especially if we look at DeFiChain, where we're still lacking some of the major exchanges. It has high trading fees. The rewards are average, and also the UI is not very easy to handle. When it comes to Stacks, also it's listed on major platforms, exchanges, is a solid platform, low entry barrier, has average rewards on the other side. And for taxing, we couldn't really figure out if they have something nicely built in. And this is always a big point for certain customers that, yeah, in certain countries you need to take care of taxes, sure. What are the opportunities and threats of the project? I think, as explained in the macro analysis, the emerging markets offer huge expansion opportunities, but it's also not like an easy win. It's something you really have to put an effort to get this right. The product is great. The project just requires intense marketing. I think we tackled that. Also, the specific assets. This is something where we could really make ourselves unique in offering assets that are like not easy to access for everybody. Whether it's specific fonts or specific asset classes that are normally not tradable, reverse indexes, stuff like that. This could be something where we are able to differentiate ourselves and make it really attractive for even people that normally just invest in stocks. They say, oh, a reverse index sounds nice. I want to invest in that just in case the market is crashing. So I'm safe. Yeah, this is something where opportunities are ahead of us. And also the metaverse is something, as explained, gamifying DeFi could reach additional target groups that normally would not get they're not interested in investing in general, but they're interested in gaming. And threats are, I think, 2022 is an important year for many projects, and it's going to be very important for DeFiChain as well. A lot of people in the market project will pick up speed, and we should not miss that train. Interoperability is something where DeFiChain has like its pros and cons, like being a Bitcoin-based blockchain and not smart contract capable limits it, of course. But I think the Ethereum virtual machine is tackling that specific threat and issue of DeFiChain. So good news ahead. And the missing focus in terms of positioning could make the project lose a bit track, because like switching from one service to the other and then always like not really finding the right messaging to convince customers on the long run, and to convince them about more than just high rewards. This is something that we really need to look at. The strategy, the target groups itself, we talked about them, the 3 different ones. These images just give like a stereotypical, showcase a stereotypical representative of this target group. Is obviously something that is something we decided on. And I think the target groups are clear to differentiate. All 3 of them are very into investment, crypto itself, and the technology. When we go from the left to the right, I think the Wall Street wannabe is the youngest member of the target group, also has the smallest wallet, and therefore is not capable of putting into the huge sums of money into it. For this person, it's important that the barriers are low, so there are not that many fees, because investing 100 euros and paying 20 euros fee is not something this person is looking for. When we go further right, obviously the wallet size increases and the person has more capital to spend, and also has different interests. And more details about that you will find within the document itself. So I highly recommend you have a look at that if you want to learn more how we really defined these target groups and classified them. This is all about the target groups. Goals will also be a topic in the other presentation, because they're very important for us. And what we defined is, for us, the main thing is increase the brand awareness. And within this specific topic, there are obviously some measures we can make and some KPIs we can define. And here are just 4 of them. We said, okay, this might be something where we can actually make an influence in. I don't think influencing the market capitalization is something where only we are like really involved, because imagine having like a long-term bear market. So how are we able to hit road to 50, or how are we able to like hit this KPI? Different is like really hitting like or increasing the numbers of people that hold DeFi in wallets. So this is a number we really looked at, and we're currently at like around about 49,000, and we think achieving 250,000 is realistic. Similar with Twitter, we are at 45,000, and this is a measure, I think, a number we can easy increase with marketing measures. And the other 2 go along the same idea, so I don't think we need to go into details there. But goals are obviously important when it comes to executing your marketing strategy. And then positioning. We were thinking about that. So this is our idea how a positioning could look like. Please keep in mind, all of this we mention here in this presentation is based on our idea, our knowledge of the market. So we are not claiming that this is the only right. So there might be other rights as well, but this is just what we defined as what we think is could be right. So let's just go through this. So through the positioning. So DeFiChain offers high investment flexibility, high security, and an ease of use in the world of decentralized finance. Like no other blockchain, it combines a multitude of investment options with the security of the Bitcoin ecosystem. Customers appreciate the flexibility of the service and the frequently added features. They love that usability and security are always on point. Let's look at the specific target groups, why they should like or love DeFiChain. The Wall Street Wallaby loves DeFiChain because it offers low entry investment whilst also being market leading in terms of trading fees. It allows him to make the most out of his available investment capital by using the multitude of services on the DeFiChain blockchain. The low fiat to crypto fees offer him an easy entry into the world of DeFiChain. The investment enthusiast prefers DeFiChain because of its investment possibilities and long-term saving opportunities. His long time horizon and high risk affinity gets satisfied by the variety of investment options available on DeFiChain. With DeFiChain, he never worries about the security of his investment. On top of that, the integrated tax report brings him joy by reducing the time effort for his private tax returns. The big-time investors' thirst for high returns get satisfied by DeFiChain's high-risk, high-reward investment options and the leading APYs and APRs. He enjoys the fact that the DeFiChain not only offers high rewards, but also drastically simplifies changing the investment strategy. The solid foundation of DeFiChain gives him a good and secure feeling investing 6 to 7 figure numbers. So as I said, this is our idea of how a positioning could look like and where we could build a marketing strategy upon. Last but not least, the copy strategy is something very important in marketing because it gives agencies and creative agencies an idea of how the execution of visuals and visual interpretation could be. So it normally consists out of 3 points. One is customer benefit, reason why, and tonality. And let's just go through that. So the customer benefit for DeFiChain. DeFiChain offers a secure, decentralized finance service that contains a multitude of investment cases with minimal fees, high rewards, and a great customer experience. Reason why? Being a blockchain solution running on Bitcoin and having a low fee structure and high rewards in a slick package. And the tonality is something how the marketing should be executed in terms of visual display, words, audio, everything around that. So it should be serious, it should be fun, it should be uncomplicated, and it should give a secure feeling. It should never be childish because we're still talking about finance. And DeFiChain should display itself as a major platform for finance because major is required for people investing huge money. Majority is required for that. And it should be fun to use DeFiChain, and it should be it's super intuitive. This is the tonality we see for DeFiChain. And yeah, with that said, I would like to sum that up, and I would like to invite you now to jump on our CFP video and see all about the implementation of these results and the implementation of the marketing measures. And yeah, enjoy watching that. See you in the next video. Bye bye.